I also recall buying a lot of reader digests for her. I think time management, especially in terms of preparing for any exam, means two different things. One is
What role did you both play in helping Anjani prepare for the examination?
outside, just not for this exam. I think where I played, I think was a primary role in helping her develop some life skills. And one of that is time management. The term looks really scary for little ones. They really don't understand what that means. So sitting with Anjani, making her day plan, how her day could unfold into spending some time for extracurricular activities, going to school, preparing, doing some homework, just in preparation for selective. That sort of really was my key in making her go through this journey. Beside that, I think it was also providing the right resources, understanding a little bit of the exam format, sitting with her, understanding where are her key growth areas. That's the part I believe I played the most.
If you ask me what role I played, I was the family taxi service, taking her to all the places where she has to be on time. But I think my one was more of an admin role here, getting her the enrollments, finding the right classes, providing the stationery. But it was learning phase for us as well, the whole journey. We learned few skills as well in the whole journey. I'm glad to be here sharing all our experiences with the parents on how to prepare their kids.
So when did you start preparation for the examination?
Very good question, actually. It depends on child to child, one kid to another kid, what's their academic leaning is, where they are on their learning stage. And as a parent, you have to evaluate and then decide when is the right time. You have to have your views.
I think outside the academic preparation, there are certain life skills which are really important for this exam. Prioritization, for an argument's sake. These are things that, or reading, these are skills which will go a long way. These are life skills, and you don't need a perfect day to begin with. Any day you can start. But when it came to Anjani, I think she started about a year ago, where we initially actually spoke to her class teacher and shared that she's quite interested in preparing through the selective exams, but she's not taking any formal coachings, and I really would like her to take her through certain dedicated learning phases that if she could help. And the teacher was quite kind enough to help her in her writing, in her picking up, selecting books that she can read, and even gave her opportunity to be part of outside the debating team to then get exposed to different kind of content, which really helped Anjani prepare for her selective exams. So yeah, as Saurabh said, I think it's each child to their own, but I would insist to the fact that there are skills that you can start working with your child any day.
Did you go for external help like tuition, etc.?
Yep. Now, along with the school preparation that Sneha mentioned, I think another key was that we kicked off her coaching around a year back, and they had those mock tests. And I would say the initial results were interesting. So they gave us some good insights where she is on various subjects, where she needs help, what are her weak areas. And that's where we started focusing more on as well.
I'm keen to know, how did you identify the areas of improvement?
I think when we started to get the results, we could see some clear growth areas for her. For an argument's sake, she was quite good with reading skills, reading comprehensions, but we saw that her thinking skills and maths was something that could be worked on. The results had a very good breakdown of certain topics that we could focus on with her, or even let the coaching institute know that where she would need bit more hand holding. So yeah, I think the results where our starting point was where to focus on.
Can you be a little more specific on how you helped Anjani to improve over time?
I think in case of Anjani, what happened was that when we started to get the results from institutes, we could clearly see there were certain gaps where she needed to be worked on. So she needed to work on thinking skills, where at times the questions were really way out of even our comprehension. We sat together, understood what kind of patterns is she struggling with, and see if we could be of help. If not, even let the coaching institute know that these are things that she's struggling with. And that really helped to get her to be as an attention in a class of 60, 70 odd students. Otherwise, at times, the institute also may not know, and they may just carry on with their regular ways of teaching. So even discussing at times with the class teacher what her growth areas really helped, so we could have a balancing between the school as well as the institutes and gather feedbacks from both ends.
What is that one secret you want to share with the parents?
Yeah, I think I did a bit of research there, and it was not just one silver bullet for this. We had those coaching material which was provided. Obviously, that was very helpful. We got a lot of reading material for her, a lot of different variety of reading material, reading books that helped past papers. She practiced on every 2 or 3 months. She used to practice them again. And also there were few annual state level mock tests which certain coaching institute used to do. She used to appear for those that help as well. So yeah, it's a multi-pronged approach that we adopted for.
What kind of reading material did Anjani use?
In terms of reading material, I think she was very interested in the books which would tickle the imagination, like Harry Potter, the classic one. But there was Skullduggery Pleasant that she really enjoyed. Horrible Histories, that was another one. What really helped her with these kind of books, which sort of has more creative content, was that in her writing skills, that really helped her in writing because she had a lot of different ways of framing a scenario, and these books really helped her.
One thing I think mentioning was around current affairs. And I think in her writing, she used her current affairs understanding, which did the trick for her.
Now, a very important question. How did you keep yourself and Anjani motivated in this tough journey?
I also recall buying a lot of Reader Digest for her to develop her vocabulary. Reader Digest has very good also different material for humor as well as current affairs at times. I think her writing, the final version of her writing was a good testimonial of she being updated with current affairs.
And what would be your advice on time management?
I think time management, especially in terms of preparing for any exam, means two different things. One is how you manage your time during the day for preparing for an exam, and then the time management of how you manage actually giving the exam. So for Anjani, in terms of preparing for the exam and how she would break it down her day, early morning she would wake up and do a bit of study before going for school, and then after coming back from school, taking a bit of a break and then trying to knock out her homework from either the institutes or from school, and then spending some bit of time for her self-study. That is really very important because that's the time when you're creating self-notes, a self-reminder of what things that you want to, as in fill in your own gaps, understand where you're struggling, and then also sort of balancing your day, not just with studying, going out, having some bit of fun. So that's the having a time management with a timetable. But then giving the exams, it's also very important for the kids to be conscious of the time when they're giving an exam. Are there easy questions that they can knock it out very quickly? And then if there are tricky ones, maybe come back, park them, come back, and then do it. But throughout this time of the exam, being very conscious about the time, looking at how far you've come, how much time have you left? Because I've seen some kids just missing out on certain questions that they could have done very easily and missing out on that.
Yeah, I think one basic thing with Anjani, what we did was get her a digital watch. Kids, they don't have a habit of doing that. So she started wearing it, practicing her test with that digital watch, looking at it. And I think that helped with during the exam time.
How were the last few weeks before the examination?
I think last few weeks for Anjani was more about going back and looking at the notes that she created throughout the journey. So as I mentioned before, one important part of her preparation was creating her own notes. And the last few weeks that she spent was not more about learning new things, but going back and then just reminding herself about what she studied, whether it was maths formulas or certain wow words in English that she could use for writing, or few writing patterns or certain suggestions that the coaches might have given to her throughout the journey. So all this time that she was preparing, she did have a small place, a small notes pad, a digital notepad to go back to. And
I think very important one which I remember now is during when her selective was there, it was the time of COVID and also flooding, and her exam got postponed. So key was to keep them mentally prepared for anything of that sort. So we started telling her that, oh, it might get pushed out, so don't worry about it. And she was ready for it, and she wasn't a shocker. Actually, we got to know around a day or two before the exam that it got pushed out. One good part was she was prepared for it. So keep her ready with those.
Thanks a lot for your ideas, inputs, and I really learned a lot from this session.
thanks for having us. Makes us feel like celebrity.
No, it was pleasure coming here, and hopefully this helps other parents as well. We have been through the journey, and hopefully this makes their journey a bit easier.
So, parents, I hope you liked my discussion with Sneha and Saurabh. And it was good to know how they went in this journey together, the challenges they faced, and some of the techniques and the strategies they used to help Anjani prepare for a selective exam. I will keep on bringing more such episodes. You keep watching, give me your feedback, and I would love to bring more such content over a period of time. Thank you very much. Keep watching. Take care.